Hi, so today I'm going to show you how to turn like a big and ugly t-shirt. For instance, it's really old and you just don't want it anymore and you're thinking about throwing it out, how you can make it into a tank top. And I will show you how it looks. So it's obviously like really baggy and stuff, and the sides, they go down in the back, and the bottom is like rolled, okay? And it is like, I don't know, it's just really comfy and big, and yeah. So look down, because you need it on like a flat surface or like the floor or whatever, and you need a Sharpie or like a permanent marker, preferably black, but I mean obviously it doesn't matter as long as you can see the line, and a good pair of scissors, because if you use like crappy scissors, you're just gonna mess up and it's gonna look terrible and you're gonna get mad at yourself. So first what you do is you pick out your t-shirt, okay? I'm gonna do this one, and I mean it's really old. Like I've had this thing since I was like little, like 5, and I don't know, I just want to turn it into a tank top like this. Plus, I mean it's really comfy and it makes it so you don't want to throw it away a little bit. Yeah. So you take the shirt, I mean I'll turn the camera down, but you put it down flat, okay? And you make sure like there are no wrinkles or creases or anything, okay? Okay. So first what you do is I can bring this down so you can see it more. Okay. So you take your Sharpie, you take the cap off of it. Okay? There's the cap. Make sure you hold it so it doesn't get on your carpet and like mess everything up. And then, so you see right here, here's the end of the sleeve, here's the collar where your neck goes. So right in the middle of the seam of the sleeve and the seam of the collar, like right in the middle, you're gonna put the pen cap down. Right there in the middle, okay? Then hold it down and mark it with the Sharpie on both sides. Okay, and that's how big the strap's gonna be. Okay? And then what you do is you turn it, okay? And from the armpit down, like starting at the armpit right here, okay? You're gonna put the pen cap right there and mark at the end of it. Alright? So then you do it on both sides. Make sure your marks are good and everything so you'll be able to see them later. Alright. And remember, from the seam of the sleeve to the seam of the collar, right in the middle. Okay. Now that you have all those marks down, so you should have one of these on each side and one of these on each side. Then you lay it flat again. There. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your scissors, see? And then you're going to turn this so you can see it a little better. Alright, so the second line, do you see? So the line closest to the sleeve, so this one, you're gonna connect that to the one on the armpit, okay? So I'll go ahead and do that, and you wanna make sure that there isn't like, you know, creases or wrinkles or anything, because that might mess up your cutting and then it'll look weird and then you'll get really pissed off. So just do that. Alright. And you make sure you're not cutting your carpet too. Alright. Get it started on both marks. Okay? And then just connect them so it'll be straight down. And then when you get to this point, angle it down to the armpit. Alright? Good job! Alright. So. I mean, you can also just curve it the entire time, but I don't know. Okay, so you should have like this little awkward sleeve thing right here. And there should be 2 seams on it from the end of the sleeve and the beginning of the sleeve. Okay. And put that aside. Don't throw anything away until like we're completely done, because you don't want to, because you might need like the extra pieces or whatever. So now I'll turn this over on the other side. Like, guys, you can see I have little scraps still from this tank top. And yes, I'll show you how to do like the braid kind of sleeve thing and everything. So again, the second line, so the line closest to the sleeve, this one, right? Yeah, this one, to this one, and make little marks on each. And I just do the marks at first because it takes a little bit of practice, or not necessarily even practice, but like effort to cut, make the first cut, and it's just easier when all you have to do is connect them. So again, make sure it's flat, good, and then straight down. And then there. Again, another little sleeve thing. Seam. Okay, I mean, you've seen it before, you know. So now, I mean, there might be like these little stray things on the side. And if there are, just kind of snip them off if they're really bugging you or whatever. But if they're not, you can just leave them. So now what it should look like is this. There's still a mark on both sides, right? Yeah. Okay. So now what you're gonna do, I'll turn this up a little bit. It looks kind of weird right now, I know. I don't even know what it looks like. Okay, so then you do that. This is easier to flatten now that you have some of it off. And you take on the line closest to the collar, and you make a snip there, and make a snip on this one. Okay? Give me a sec. Like I said, it's the hardest. And then you're gonna cut out a new collar. That's how it gets like to where it can show your bra or bikini or whatever you decide to wear. So yeah, I'm gonna do that now. Maybe. And these look best with something that have like designs on them. Like the reason why I did this shirt, I mean, this wouldn't be big enough right there. That little black thingy right there. But there's like stuff on the back. You can't see it. But there's like a huge design on the back. And it like cut just good enough so you can see the entire design. Yeah. Okay, so now cut. This part you like really don't want to mess up on. I mean, obviously it's not going to be perfect. You don't want it to be. That's what makes it one of a kind. But, and like if this way isn't good enough for you, you can like tweak it. I really don't care. But, okay, so you take, now you have this like, weird neck thing. And I like putting it on just to see how weird it looks. It's funny. But you don't really need to do that. So now I will put the camera up so you stop getting a boob shot. And this is what it should look like. Alright. So now I can show you that with this, it's still going to be long. Okay, so what you're gonna want to do is, alright, to tilt it back down. Okay. So you see, that's the end of the t-shirt from end to end, and you still can't see it. Okay. Well, there's each end, so I mean, it's just long enough. What would happen if... Sorry, I'm really trying to make it so you guys can see. Okay, you know what? Screw it. There. Show you one side. So you take the pen cap from your Sharpie, and you put it from... Start at the, like, seam of the shirt, right there. You can't really see it on there, but the seam. And put the pen cap on top of that seam, and then make a mark at the top of the pen cap, and you do that on both sides. And I mean, you can do more, you can do less. That's just like a really good way to measure it. And now you're going to cut that off, connecting like the two little marks you just made. Like I said, no wrinkles. Alright. And always make sure that you're cutting both sides of the fabric, because I did that once and it kind of messed up the entire thing. So, okay. That's why I don't put wrinkles in it. Alright. Oh, really? And I mean, it doesn't have to be completely even, you know, but if you're a perfectionist, I guess it does. So now you have the bottom of the shirt. Okay, it's like this little circle thing. Alright. I hope you can see that. If not, I mean, I think by my words you could probably tell what I did. But, so now it should look like this. Okay. And see, I mean, that's like the size of the yellow one I have on. So, okay, so you have that. That's good. Now you take the bottom that I was talking about. Alright, and on each, so put it back like this, and on each side where it folds, cut that. Alright, now you should have two of the same size, little strips. And then what you're going to do is stretch them out a lot, okay? Because that makes them longer, but don't like rip it or anything, because that would suck. Just stretch it out as much as you can, really, but still make sure that they're the same size, because it's easier to measure. Okay, and now what you're gonna do is put it on and make sure like it's the right size. I'm just gonna leave the camera rolling because that's not gonna take that long. So I will be right back. Okay, so here's what it looks like when it's on, pretty much like that yellow one did. Oh, this fabric's so much lighter. And now what you do, alright, and I probably, yes, my camera thingy is on a laptop. Alright, so now what you do is take the sides, like put your thumb right on each side. That's bugging me. Do that and just pull down. Not a whole lot, just a little. Stretch it out some, so it gets longer. Now what you're gonna do is stretch the bottom. Do it on both sides or whatever, because what that does is, I think you just saw it, curled it up a little bit, and that just looks cooler. And then you take the front down, and you kind of tug on it a little bit, not as much as you did everywhere else. Then you take the back, tug, When you have it all the way up, it looks like that. Alright, so now things that you pulled out earlier, right? You take them and you take one and you say, think to yourself, where, if like the shirt is on normally like that, okay, where do you want the straps to start and where do you want them to end? Like the braided part. See, and it's like braided, looks like it's braided. But in the back, it's not braided at all. It's like the regular tank top. But in the front, like the straps just are taken a little bit and they get the braided effect. See? And, yeah, so that's how you're gonna get this. So how you can make it as little braided or as much braided as you have enough fabric for. And if you want to do 2 at a time, you can extend them or something. But I mean, it should be pretty long, like be able to fit like pretty much all the way around you. Because I mean, that's how big the t-shirt was. So you take your Sharpie, maybe if you can find it. And what you do is find out where you want your straps to start. So I mean, say it's like this, probably would want them to start right about there. And you take this and you make sure that it's even, and you can even look in your mirror. And I actually think I want it up a little bit. It's right there. Okay, take the Sharpie and mark it. Looks like a little dot. And over. It's big. Right there. And then you make sure they're even, because that's like the main thing. Alright, and then make sure you put the cap back on, because I've had Sharpie stands on the floor and it took like years to get out. It sucked. Okay, so you take and you put it around on one of your little dots or lines or whatever you made, like this. I'll show you. Like that. And then you bring them forward, make sure they're even, and then bring it back up to where the dot is, because it kind of moves down. And then tie a knot, make sure it's on the dot, but then tie the knot. Okay, and it should look like that. Alright, so then what you do is you bring it behind. So, I'll show you. So here's the knot, and you kind of did a front knot, alright? Okay, I know it's kind of hard to see, it's really bright. And then you bring it behind, and you knot it behind, alright? But make sure you don't knot it like right on the same height, but a little above. And then bring it back forward and make a knot above the first knot you made. And it should start. And then you do it behind. And you just keep on going back and forth until you get it to the place you want it to stop. Alright. I don't really want a lot on this side, but that's pretty much how many I want. 3 on each side. And then what you do is you take them out to the side and then bring them to the front and see how they're different sizes. Okay? You cut them and make sure they're the same size. I'll just cut them a little shorter. Something that pretty much looks like that. One longer piece, one shorter piece. So now I have even pieces, right? Now just keep on tying until you get, so I usually tie one behind, and then I have just enough to tie one in the front. All right, and I mean, there's a little left, and I don't mind it. I think it's kind of cute, but I mean, plus it leaves it so in case you don't want it one day, you can just take it off, you know. Well, that's pretty much how many I want. What's that? It's really hot. I think it's 101 today. My window open. All my lights on. It's so hot. Because I was cleaning my room earlier. Alright. I get off topic sometimes. I'm sorry if that pisses you off. But it's me, so deal with it. Now what you do is you find the other piece of fabric. And that might be a challenge if you're a really messy person. Jeez. Seriously, I really don't know where it went. Okay, it was standing here, and I had both of them, and then I took it, and I put it here. Ha! Always retrace your steps. Alright, so now what you do is take the Sharpie, backing up a little bit. And so the bottom, or the start, is at the same point. Alright, can you even see that? Yeah, you can. Okay, so that's the same point right now. Now what you do is take your next string and you put it at the top of where you take it at the top of where you stopped. And remember how after I cut it, I did like 2 more? So you put it, I'm going to put it 1, not under that one. Can't really see that. Okay? And then bring it straight across. Alright. That didn't work out as well as it did the first time. Give me a minute. You have to kind of make sure it's even, you know? Works better. Seriously, what is happening right now? Alright. Top measures. I mean, you could do this with a ruler if you're really a perfectionist, but I'm not, so. And then you mark it. Hey, look at that, I marked on my shoulder. Okay. Alrighty. Now, what I could have done, alright, is I could have waited until I cut the bottom of this one, alright? And I could have used the white strap for this and the yellow strap for this. If you want like contrasting colors or whatever, you can do that with like any colors, you know, if you really want it. I just did it the same color because it was just easier and I was too lazy to find more ribbon or whatever. You can do this with a ribbon. You don't have to use the bottom of the shirt. This is just if you're trying to reduce how many scraps you end up throwing away. And like you can keep, say if you wanted to, you could keep the neck and maybe like you somehow find a way to like make it look cool and like hang it on your wall, like do an infinity sign with it, like that, or like a little bow or something and hang it on your wall, or you can sew it onto another shirt if you want extra collar. I don't know, but I mean, just try. I'm not much of an environmentalist, like save the trees, but I mean, if you really can, try to save stuff like that, because by the time all of us are like old, you know, 20, 30, 40, the world like is just gonna be hell. So I mean, they're already having to put trash in the oceans and stuff, so try to save your scraps. Now to finish it, you could just do the same thing. Didn't even have to listen to that because there isn't really anything else I'm gonna say. So, well, it's opposite because that's okay. It's like a mirror. Okay. So now you do the same thing on the bottom line. Pull them out, make sure they're even. And then before you tie it, make sure it's right there. And bring it under. bring it back over. I mean, this just gives a braided effect. You don't even have to do this part. It's just, I think, looks kind of cool. And when else at my school, like when they make their own hang tops or whatever, they never do it. So I figured, hey, why not be awesome? Okay, I don't know. At my old school, because I'm switching schools because I was in middle school, now I'm in high school. Okay, this doesn't look right. I mean, you are going to mess up a little bit. I'm just being honest. You are going to mess up and you might. That's why you usually leave this part so you can untie it and fix it if you ever need to. I'm going to sit down because I'm too lazy to keep standing. Alright, now we could be like, we're in kindergarten. Alright. Up a little bit more. What is happening? Like I said, it's a laptop. Alright. So now you just keep kind of knotting it back and forth. I hope I speed up this part because if I don't, that'll be really sad. Like 26 minutes of your life wasted. Alright. Back. Forth. Back. So now you cut it. Really? Really? Honestly. I'm gonna pretend I know what happens. What the? I have a messy room if you can't tell. Ha! Got him. Alright, here's the finished product if you even stayed this long because I get sidetracked sometimes. Alright, so make sure you stretch after or before you do the straps. Just easier. Alright. And please don't walk around with like this at all because if you end up like this in public and you don't have on a bra, bikini top or anything, guess what's hanging out. Yeah, so my friend did that once. That was really bad. Alright. Thank you for watching this video and I hope this helped you. Please leave me a comment below if you really liked it or hated it or how I can improve. Don't mention the fact that I gave a Save the Environment lecture because I don't even know why I did that. Subscribe if you would like to. You don't have to. Obviously it's not a requirement, but yeah. Alright. Bye.